usher in the year 2000. Log on to CNN.com and chat with renowned authors, experts, and pioneers about what the future may hold. Throughout the weekend, only at CNN.com/.
It is New Year's Eve, 1999, about 3.5 hours away to the year 2000. Here's Jessica, 8 years old. Just explained to her what's going on. We decided to spend the night at home. And we have CNN on, and they're showing what's happening across the world. And over here we have two people that's not really concerned about it. And we'll update you occasionally tonight. And here's Tracy. An hour and a half, let's see, no, 2.5 hours before 2000. This is how she looks in 1999. She's going to be real pleased with this video. 9:35 and 8 seconds. And we'll pan over here, and Kristen is still asleep in 1999, before the new millennium. And CNN is still on, and now they're talking to Billy Graham about what he thinks about
these catastrophic events that we have had in the past, where people are killing each other and raping each other. We can't help
the world today. And Jesse was sitting in the chair at the computer.
There's a battle going on in all of our hearts, and that expands to the from state to state and person to person and group.
This is me, the cameraman in 1999, Marty Jewell Jr., Martin Van Buren Jewell the Fourth.
And it's been absolutely fantastic. What you all
Is it taping me?
he left us to say
Is it
that you
taping me?
see them all converging at the same time. You know that the time
Put it up
is getting
again.
nearer all the time.
Our guest is the Reverend Billy Graham, earlier the Dalai Lama. This is Larry King Live.
Is it seeing me when I'm jumping?
Continuous coverage
Do you see me when I'm jumping?
year 2000. It's arrived in the Western Hemisphere.
Well, we'll check back in a little closer to the time. Documenting the last minutes, seconds, hours of the millennium.
Happy New Year 2000.
11:30, half hour to go. Kristen is still out. Now we have Jesse that's out, which will wake Jesse. Kristen, we might wake her, I don't know. Fire going now. Fireplace is kind of cold outside. It's been a cold winter. There I am, I dozed off too.
How do you measure success?
Half hour left of millennium, the decade, the year,
On the Millennium 2000 special, join Jeff Block,
century.
Esteban Costas as they review the greatest sports records of all time.
11:47. Just about 13 minutes left. My clock isn't exactly right, I'm sure. There she is, the woman of my century, Tracy Jewell, formerly known as Tracy Amick. And the two little jewels she produced, this angel, precious angel, Kristen. Pretty close. Because if mine just hit 12 minutes, and there's Jessica. We're going to have to wake her up soon. And there's our family up there on the wall. The Amicks, which are somewhere out of state, and the Kunkles, and there we are. And there's little Amanda, and the Alawines. And the Jewells up in there, Mom and Dad. And
this place is going to go crazy. They're going to get very excited. And Bertie and Judy, as you know,
you trying to stay awake over there?
Yeah.
I see those eyes. They're getting awfully heavy.
I have often wondered
It is
whether that sun
it's
was
less than
rising
2
or
minutes.
setting.
It's almost 1
Today
minute
I have
away.
the happiness to know it is a
Only
right
about 2
of
minutes
upon
left.
ourselves to seize the problems and the opportunities
talk
of this
for the countdown?
ever-small planet we all call
Probably still the
home. In
glory.
short, if we want the story of the 21st century to be the triumph of peace and harmony, we must embrace our common humanity and our shared destiny. Now, we're just in short, if we want the story of the 21st century to be the triumph of peace and harmony, we must embrace our common humanity and our shared destiny. Now, we're just moments from that new millennium. 2 centuries ago, as the framers were crafting our Constitution, Benjamin Franklin was often seen in Independence Hall, looking at a painting of the sun low on the horizon. When at long last the Constitution finally was signed, Mr. Franklin said, "I have often wondered whether that sun was rising or setting. Today I have the happiness to know it is a rising sun." Well, 2 centuries later, we know the sun will always rise on America as long as each new generation lights the fire of freedom. Our children are ready. So again, the torch is passed to a new century of young America.
Clock's gonging 12. It's less than a minute. Wife, get up here and stand with me.
Of young Americans.
Come here, Jesse.
The fabled ball, now a Waterford crystal creation, is about to drop in Times Square. We will be there.
Happy century, decade, millennium. No, now we're going to have a prayer. A prayer and a Bible reading. Because the only thing that's in this world that's withstood all the millenniums has been God's Word. That's pretty wild.
Washington, D.C., New York City, and the countdown on the East Coast is underway. A matter of seconds, less than 45 seconds now, as we go down to approaching 30 seconds before the new millennium on the East Coast of the United States.
The fabled ball, now a Waterford crystal creation, is about to drop in Times Square. We will be there.
And let's get the sunrise and behind the Lincoln Memorial.
The marvelous thing about this, among many marvels, is that the weather is so extraordinarily good on the East Coast.
And you know, Bernie, I guess we're going to say it and say it again, but after all the worry, and we don't want to discount the possibility of anything going in the wrong direction, but to say that we are now, what, 9 minutes past midnight, and so far the pictures are all positive. It's celebration, it's lights, it's dancing, and a lot of happy faces.
The Tropicana, Havana, Cuba. Our bureau chief there, Lucia Newman, told us a short while ago that people do not necessarily celebrate this millennium this year. Next year, but not this year.
That's right, next year, and whatever the government says goes in Cuba.
Did we say Happy New Year to each other?
We didn't. Happy New Year, Bernie.
Thank you. And a Happy New Year to all the women and men of CNN around this globe who have been working so tirelessly for the past few months to bring you this story as we've been bringing it to you since yesterday morning, and we shall continue for days to come.
You know, Bernie, there was a poll, I mentioned a poll a minute ago. There was a poll that CNN and Time did not long ago, and what will you be doing at midnight on New Year's Eve? 62% said kissing someone. So I guess we just saw some of the 62%.
3,500 people invited from every country on the planet. They came to Chicago. They were put up free. They were given clothing to combat Chicago's weather, although it's not very cold there now. And they're having a great time at McCormick Place right now on the shores of Lake Michigan.
And these are pictures earlier of New York City Times Square. That Waterford crystal ball we've heard so much about weighs over 1,000 pounds. It's not going to be used again. I wonder who gets to sweep the streets, Bernie, tomorrow.
2 million people here. 2 million people, 8,000 policemen and policewomen.
Just in Times Square, 7,000 or 8,000 policemen and women just in Times Square. We were told that 37,000 police, even the detectives, were wearing uniforms in New York City.
And as regards the Y2K rollover, at least as far as the United States military is concerned, when Greenwich Mean Time struck midnight, the rollover produced no problems. And they said so far the U.S. military has not been affected. Carl Rochelle reporting that the Federal Aviation Administration says everything was going, and we're back out in Times Square now. The crowd seems subdued, but everyone is just sort of catching their second wind now because they had been out there for hours, having got the best position they could get, and now they're just walking around and talking. This is how it looks outside, inside Penn Station. Let's go back to Frank Buckley.
Bernie, we are at Penn Station right now. This is some of the crowd that is heading back from Times Square. Some of the people trains will be running here, but some of them have been paused. Excuse me. I was hoping to talk to some of the people here to ask them about their hopes on New Year's Eve. Tell me your name again.
I'm Cassandra Dunham from Cleveland, Ohio.
Tell me, did you get down to Times Square tonight?
How did I get down? Is that what you said?
Did you get to Times Square tonight?
No, I was unfortunate to get to Times Square, but I did enjoy seeing the ball drop, which was very interesting because I've never seen that in real life. I've always had to see it on TV, but it was awesome. I loved it. It was beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. We are at Penn Station tonight, and there have been concerns about Y2K and the trains, and we can tell you that Amtrak and many of the train systems around the country and around the world have in fact decided to take a pause at just before midnight, some of them for a half hour up to 2 hours. So far, no problems have been reported. We can tell you that the pause that took place here at Penn Station has taken place, and those trains that were paused here have taken off. I'm going to toss it back to you, Bernie.
Thanks very much. How are your eardrums doing?
I think some of those folks want to be on television.
Indeed.
Well, we showed you some people dipping into the water of the mall there in Washington, D.C., between the Washington Monument.
You know, the last time I
Lincoln
saw
Memorial.
someone doing this,
Look at
Judy,
this.
was when there was... Look at this.
Now, there must be some music. Can we hear the music that they're dancing to?
Maybe it's internal music.
It could very well be. You know...
The last time I saw someone dancing and standing in this reflecting pool before the steps of the Lincoln Memorial was when Stevie Wonder was singing at a tribute, the 20th anniversary of the Martin Luther King address from the memorial, the I Have a Dream speech during the March on Washington. And people were literally dancing, doing what these two young women were just doing, dancing in the reflecting pool.
You know, that Washington Monument, people may say, well, gee, when are they going to finish all the construction work on it? But when you light up the scaffolding around it, it is something to behold.
Now, the spirits are very high everywhere as the millennium comes to the various time zones in the United States, in Central America, and Canada, and South America. And as our correspondents have indicated, everyone is in a good mood. No problems to report.
Our computer flipped over to January 1st, 2000, without missing a beat, without doing anything special to it. This is now the 2000 family. And my camcorder even records 1/1/2000. Surprising. That looks so weird on that screen. 2000. Love you, sweetie. Happy New Year. Love you, babe.
Love you.
Last recording for this day.
The Motor City celebrations in Detroit, Michigan.
Celebrations all over. Year 2000. All from this living room. Reason being is because I don't have a battery that works. I had to be plugged into the wall. Epcot Center. Oh, I bet you that was good.
Indianapolis, Indiana. It's really something to have all these live feeds coming in so that we can get to around the East Coast.
The world's coming to an end.
What happened?
Less than 45 minutes.
Oh, we woke her, but she didn't last long. I hope she remembers this event.
The Heartland.
You know, this whole day has been like that. We have had the luxury.
If we woke her, we probably would spawn Y2K.
This couple right over here, this couple, these two stand next to me from Ohio. This gentleman proposed.
I have a beautiful engagement ring. Beautiful, I love it.
Now tell me the story. Was there any doubt she would say yes to you?
Yeah, I was a little bit worried coming up here, but the clock ticked down and luck was on my side. She said yes. It's the best New Year's I've ever had in my life.
So tell me exactly when you proposed to her. Was it before or after the millennium began?
I waited till the end of the countdown, and once the fireworks went off and we could hear voices again, I proposed to her and she said yes.
So it wasn't the year 2000.
No, yes, it was in the
You gotta know that, what year you proposed to her. So when are you gonna get married?
I don't know. I don't know. I just found out about it now.
Okay, well, we're glad you said yes. A lot of people are having a good time here in Times Square, especially this couple, as they celebrate the new millennium in a very nice way. Bernie and Judy, back to you.
Gary, what are their names? You going to tell us?
I think he's going away from us.
Folks, can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
You know what? One question I didn't ask you guys, a very important one. So everyone in the world who's watching right now knows your names. What are your names?
Suzanne Hall.
And your name?
Jay Erickson.
Very nice meeting you. Good luck to both of you. Bernie and Judy, back to you.
Words to that effect written across her belly. Courtesy of the Reuters wire service, two twin boys born in Berlin, Germany, this night. One born in one millennium, the second millennium, the other one born 5 minutes later in the third millennium.
And wherever you're watching and listening.
They win.
And to you, our viewers, wherever you're watching and listening, our worldwide coverage. As we get ready to pause for a moment, look at this. Sunrise over Beijing. Sunrise over Beijing. And sunrise over Beijing, now over the Great Wall, and this is Tiananmen Square.
CNN's global coverage.
Here's Kristen. She finally woke up for the year 2000. Actually, we've already woke up and been to church today. Today's the Sabbath. We're watching Dave in the giant pickle of VeggieTales computer animation.
Bob, what are the Philippines? The Philippines are a group of islands off the coast of Southeast Asia.
Well, your britch is up.
The Philistines were people who hated Israel. They wanted to take
There's
Israel's
Tracy,
land and make
year
the Israelites their
2000.
slaves, so they'd have to do
She's
whatever
fully
the
clothed and has
Philistines told
fixed
them to
hair.
do. Oh, that's
She looks a lot better than she did in
So the
1999.
Israelites needed to protect themselves. We need to protect ourselves, but how?
King Saul is putting together an army to stop the Philistines.
Here we are at the end of the first day of the year 2000.
Can't watch this.
Huh?
Does she have to have parental?
I checked with Mom and Dad. They said we could watch it. Yeah.
Walk away, Andy. You can't be serious. How can I walk away? Don't you see what's going on here? Don't you see what's at stake?
The reason why I keep videotaping is because if I unplug this, then the date goes off. But we're pausing. We're gonna unplug it. There she is sleeping again. And here I am